Gen X, are we adults yet? Greg couldn't make it tonight. Toby came by for dinner.
Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm Greg.
That's Toby.
We are Gen X, and welcome to our podcast. We're the last generation to grow up without internet
Or computers.
We're the last
I want
generation.
to give a shout out to all of our listeners out there, all of our viewers, all of our followers, all of our subscribers, everybody that's on the audio only side. And don't forget, we do have close to 3 years of content over at podbean.com. Links are in the description. I want to give a shout out to our Monday crew, those faithful guys who tune in each and every Monday and catch the latest, the crispiest, the coolest episodes when we drop them Sunday night. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button down there on the corner. I think it's over there. Hit it down in the bottom corner and make sure you're a part of the Gen X family. Tonight, hey, like I said a minute ago, Greg couldn't make it tonight. We want to wish him well. Hope everything's doing okay for him. Toby came by today. He was going to be our guest anyway. We had this really cool episode lined up, but what happened was we're going to have dinner instead. So I figure since we've been adulting since third grade, since we have been, 8 years old, we've been watching ourselves. Some of us getting around the inner cities of Oakland, California by themselves. The rest of us growing up in little tiny Manteca with a little bicycle. And all of a sudden now I have a 12-block radius that I have to, is my home backyard now. Growing up over these years, taking care of ourselves from such a young age, we've been cooking for ourselves for a long time. So tonight, what we're going to do is I have one of my absolute favorite dishes that I've learned how to make probably somewhere in my teens. It's a family recipe. It's chicken adobo. The recipe comes from my grandfather and my father. It comes straight from the Philippines, a little tiny village. Every recipe comes from some family somewhere back in the motherland. So tonight, I'm going to share it. We're going to eat mine. Toby came by tonight, and Toby, you're going to share with us what again?
Yeah, so I something that just kind of came up to me. Like I'm not a cook. Hey, are we experts, by the way?
We are not experts.
Okay,
but you can eat our food.
Not experts.
We've been eating for 53.
Definitely not an expert in cooking, but my mom was a really good cook, and she didn't really teach me formally per se, but I watched stuff that she did. This just kind of came to me one day. I like Spam and I like Hawaiian rolls, and so I started kind of brainstorming how to put them together, and I came up with these sliders I call Ono Sliders. Ono's Hawaiian for delicious. And so we're going to make some Ono Sliders today. I'm going to show you how to do those. It's really easy. There's not a whole lot of measuring going on. It's kind of just comes from here. So do it how you want to do it. We'll walk you through it. You're going to love them. I promise you.
So while Toby sets up and gets his prep done for his Ono Sliders, I'm going to serve us up some of that chicken adobo that I made this afternoon. So give us a sec. He's going to jump in, and through the magic of editing, I'm going to have a bowl of chicken adobo in 2 and 2. So here's what we have here. Here we go. So right here, we have some delicious chicken adobo. I use chicken thighs. I cut them in half to get some of that bone marrow exposed. You know what? You don't like the bone off the meat. I'm sorry, but maybe chicken adobo isn't the dish for you. But I'm telling you right now, that marrow, the cartilage, and all that stuff right here adds to the flavor. The original recipe from my dad, he would do a fryer chicken, a whole chicken. And he taught me how to cut it all apart. And how to not debone it, but quarter the breast, quarter the back, and then cut everything else apart. And so his recipe, his proportions, and his amounts were set for one fryer chicken in one pot, not even this big. I'm like, well, shit, if that's good, twice as much must be better. And if I don't have to use the whole chicken, because there's back pieces and there's neck pieces, and Dad would make me throw in the gizzards and stuff, and I wasn't a big fan of the gizzards, right? Anyway, so I'm like, I'll use chicken thighs. I'll use the chicken thighs. I'll throw that in there, and I'll make more. Well, I had to rework the recipe. It was more than just doubling it. It wasn't just this, and I had to figure out how much vinegar again, how much soy sauce again, how much garlic again, and kind of kick up the ratio to a bigger pot.
Interesting.
Well, I dialed it in a little bit, some pots, every pot's different because again, I've gotten to measure the soy sauce and the vinegar. I've gotten that down, right? It's still a handful of garlic. And you know what I like to do? Just take the garlics, take these little guys like this, take them, and I'll smear them. They're all soft and stuff. They've been cooking all day. I've been smear them against the edge so it's all smeared garlic. And then get a big old scoop with the rice.
Great stuff, man.
The best part about this, I think, is spitting out the allspice. You eat them. They kind of taste like a cinnamon, kind of like a, but not sweet like a cinnamon, but earthy like a cinnamon.
So as you eat this, like, how do you feel this lines up with what your grandpa made, what your dad made? How do you feel about that? Do you feel it's pretty on par? Do you feel it's close, but you feel like it's like they were at a 10 and you're at a 7? What are you feeling?
If grandpa's is the 10, I'm different, right? And so, but it's about an 8. I think the equivalent question or answer would be, would I serve this to a real Filipino?
Okay.
And you know what? I would.
Okay.
I would like to see how this hits, and I think I would do well because I am using bone-in. Okay. And I do understand the marrow part and the connective tissue and the slow cooking. I understand. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm not using boneless, skinless breasts. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
bones and fat is flavor, man.
That's where it's all at. So
that's flavor. Absolutely.
I would try this once. I wouldn't go around bragging about it, but I'm like, I have a recipe. I'd like to throw it in there and try it. All right, make the kitchen smell good. So my grandpa stays with me. He makes it, and he throws everything in there. He's throwing all the parts of the chicken in there. I'm like, well, go ahead and get around that. Sugar peas, snap peas, sugar peas on top the last 20 minutes, so they get all soft. And we spent 15, 20 minutes processing little peas. They come in little pods. You gotta kind of bite or pinch the top off and kind of peel a little string off the top.
Yeah.
Kind of. The rest of it gets soft. That'll kind of stay a little. Spend your time cleaning those up. Eating a few of those. Throw those on top, just under the lid. Just leave the lid on. That's how they cook. They don't even need to go under the juice. And then when you serve, you just kind of serve through them
a
little bit.
Yeah.
Big old pot. So when you see that pot coming out and the kids smell the vinegar, they know we're eating that for 2 days.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Most of my kids like it. Not all of them.
Well, if you know Jason, you know how to get a hold of Jason. You know the homeboy knows how to cook. So, got to get you some adobo.
Make it special for my girl. She's come with me to share my world. Make it special, a very special day. She'll love to watch what's going on and seeing what I do. Then a very special business lunch at Burger King for 2.
Flamethrower burgers, fries, of course.
Make that a shake, hey, she's the boss.
Make it special, make it Burger King.
I'm about as far from Filipino as a person can be. I am very not Filipino, but I love Filipino food. That's pretty amazing stuff. And this is really good.
There was a place in Stockton I used to go to. Every time I pass through Stockton, I stop and get some adobo there. It was a lot different, but it was good, and that place closed down finally. I was like, dude.
I have a coworker whose family used to run a restaurant. So she'll bring in lumpia, she'll bring in pancit, she'll bring in sisig, and it's just so good. Get you some Filipino food. If you don't have any Filipino food, get you some Filipino friends so they can make you some food.
I think right now I'm going to give a shout out to Joe Coy. He has a good explanation on what Filipinos are. If you're not sure what kind of Asian food this is, Netflix, or you go to YouTube, Joe Coy, accents, or, anything Joe Coy Filipinos. It's a pretty funny guy.
You know food's good if you're got chicken bones and you're sucking every little bit off the bone so you don't miss anything.
All my good deep foodies, I'm going to show you. This is a chicken thigh. There's some of that cartilage right there. When the cartilage cooks in the vinegar, it actually takes on kind of a sweet taste to it.
Yep.
kind of
Different
different.
mic in the shop, by the way. I don't know if you know that. You know what I haven't actually made yet,
Oh shit!
but I have the recipe. My mom made these teriyaki wings that are just killer. Like, I just can't stop eating them. I have the recipe. And one of the cool things about the recipe is the copy that I have is all typed out. But then there are little notes in there from my mom on her handwriting. My mom passed away in 2019, but seeing those little bits of her handwriting, so it's just like,
Oh, little notes and stuff to herself, probably. Maybe little adjustments or.
so I think we finished at the same time, man.
I think we did. Our buddy Josh Morriston, rest in peace, Josh. He also has his own chicken adobo recipe,
Really?
and he brought some over one time. He dropped some off. His was more of a glaze, rather than like mine's more of a soup. We serve it over rice. His was individual pieces with like a vinegar kind of glaze on it. Really good. Still fall off the bone kind of stuff. But it was different. But it was really really good. So if you have your own adobo recipe, or if you know somebody, or if you've had it yourself, leave us a comment down there. Let us know how you like it. Mine has got a lot of vinegar. Mine's tomato sauce based. And I'm supposed to use a whole chicken and tons of garlic and bay leaves and all the fun stuff, allspice, a ton of allspice. Let us know if you have your recipe, or if you like it or dislike it. Just let us know. Leave us a comment down below.
You know what I like about your adobo is it's good, it's hearty, but it's also light. You don't feel like you just ate a cannonball when you're done.
Right.
You feel like you've been fed, you've been loved, but you don't feel like you just ate 9 Slim Jims or something like
That's the
that.
white rice, I think. In that broth, will sit there. It'll sit
Good
for a
stuff.
while. Yes, love it.
Yan can talk this fast.
You can teriyaki in a hurry.
Yan can chop this fast.
Cut, 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 cut.
Yan can whip up Chinese food this fast.
Very good too.
Slow down, Yan. Slow down.
I'm running out of time.
Relax. There's plenty of time to see how Yan can cook.
Yen is faster than the eye.
Weekdays at 1:30 and 5:30 on the Learning Channel.
So you, my friend, have brought some sliders.
Yeah,
We're going to make Ono sliders.
Yep.
Ono means delicious. Sliders means tiny sandwiches.
Yep.
You're making delicious tiny sandwiches.
Yes, I am. Well,
Awesome.
if you like processed pig and you like pineapple,
I do.
yes, pineapple.
I
and
do.
you like sweet, squishy white bread, you're in for some fun. It's
All right.
gonna be good.
Where do we start?
All right, first, wash the hands. All right, so let's start. We're gonna make some Ono sliders. First step is we're gonna take this, definitely not brand name. We're not gonna say the name out loud. Processed ham. Pop this baby open, and if you don't like spam, man, we can still be friends, but we just can't be close friends. So I'm gonna get this guy
I'll
out.
say hi to you in Target, but
Yeah.
I'm not probably going to stop.
He's one of those people. All right. And with this guy, we're going to slice it up. And what you're going to aim for is pieces of Spam that are about a little bit like a 50-cent piece in size is roughly what you're aiming for. So I'll slice it, quarter it first, and then I'm just going to kind of keep, don't mind the poor knife technique here. I'm going to do this. I'm just going to keep halving them like this. So now I've done 1, 2, 3 across this way and 1 this way. Then I'm going to, and again, notice there's no measuring. Now I'm going to slice these one more time. That. Okay. 1 moss. All right. So there's our first. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 slices out of 1 block of Spam. What I'm going to do is take these guys, toss them in this pot over here. And let's see, we have a 24 pack of, again, non-brand name. We're not going to say the name out loud. Hawaiian sweet rolls. 16. I'm going to pop
The good ones.
I'm going to pop the other can open. Repeat the process. We'll end up with some extra Spam, but that ain't a bad problem to have. Do you eat Spam uncooked? I mean, it's cooked, but do you eat it like just like this?
You know what? I can't remember the last time I had Spam, but I think so. And I kind of remember it kind of being like, maybe that was the deviled ham. That powdered, kind of, not dry powder, but kind of just creamed out.
Shredded, kind of shredded, sort of?
Kind of.
Yeah, Spam is, well, if you want, you can have one of these, but... All right.
I don't want to interrupt the recipe.
All right, so what we do... Don't interrupt the process. What we do next is we're going to marinate this Spam for a little bit. Not a terribly long amount of time, but we're going to let it sit in the pot and soak up some teriyaki. Since I happen to be... Ashkenazi Jew. We got some Jewish teriyaki sauce. So I'm going to shake this up a little bit, though.
Question.
Yes, sir.
What makes it Jewish teriyaki sauce?
The folks who made it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's made by some Hebrew folks.
Got it.
Yeah. So I'm going to dump some, you don't want to dump the whole bottle, but you want to cover up the Spam slices with some teriyaki sauce. You know, there's some things in life you have to splurge on a little bit, and one of them is teriyaki sauce. Don't get cheapo stuff. Get some good stuff with some sesame seeds in it, some like nice thick teriyaki sauce. This stuff is called soy vey, and I highly recommend it. Very, very good stuff. So we got the Spam marinating here. I'm gonna dump just a little bit more, but I got a lot left in the bottle.
You never have too much, right?
Well, no. Actually, no, you cannot. We're going to use some more of this a little bit later on. So we've got our Spam marinating. Now what we're going to do is we are going to... Actually, I'm going to turn the griddle on so the griddle starts getting hot. We want a nice hot griddle. If you don't have a big... This is not that big, but if you don't have a flat griddle on your stove top, get a nice big round pan, as big a pan as you can get. You want a flat surface so you can flat grill these teriyaki pieces. The next thing I'm going to do, while that's warming up, I'm going to take my rolls, and I'm going to butterfly these rolls so we can then broil them a little bit later on. So they're going to get nice and crispy. So the technique I use for butterflying these is I just open the pan that comes in the package like that. Get a nice long knife. Make sure it's sharp. And just in the pan, like this, I'll just butterfly them carefully. Work my way through the whole shebang. Like that. Spin it around, get the other side. And as I said, there's not going to be a whole lot of measuring. I'm not a pro. I am barely an amateur. All right, I can hear the griddle starting to make little hissy noises, which is good. All right, so the bread's now separated. And then I'm just gonna cut each one apart like that. Doesn't have to be pretty. Do it how you want to do it. What's Bob Ross say? Happy little accidents. All right.
All right. So our stuff is marinating.
Yeah, stuff is marinating.
Our grill is hot.
Grill is hot, and in a second we're going to throw some stuff on the grill. But while that's going, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to make a sandwich spread for this. Now, some people don't like mayonnaise. Some people don't like spread on their sandwiches. What we're going to do is I'm going to take some mayonnaise, get some real stuff,
right?
Okay? Real mayonnaise. It's very, very, very simple, okay? And again, not measuring. I'm just going by gut. So
That much?
I'm going to scoop some mayonnaise in there. Then I'm going to go back to my delicious teriyaki. We'll dump some of that in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go by feel and mix it up until it feels right. And then what will happen is we will magically transform mayonnaise into teriyaki aioli.
Teriyaki. You used all the vowels in this.
Yeah, I did. Well, that's,
Twice.
the Hawaiian language has a lot of vowels in it. But, okay, let me see. I'm going to need a little bit more. That's not a little bit, but whatever. We're not professionals. They don't get much less professional than me. All right, we're getting better here. All right, so again, you don't have to put this on there. You can just use regular teriyaki if you want to do it, or just mayo.
Hell no. I'm making all the things.
This is all the things. So we got some teriyaki aioli to spread on the rolls once they're done. All right, y'all want to cook? Let's cook. Okay, grill's nice and hot. What we're gonna do right now simultaneously is we're gonna throw the rolls in the broiler. They're gonna broil them for about 3 minutes. Just takes 3, maybe 4 minutes tops. Watch closely. You don't want to burn them. At the same time that that's going, or maybe even before that, I'm gonna throw the Spam and some pineapple on the grill. Pineapple, you say? Yes, pineapple.
Pineapple belongs on these.
Pineapple belongs on these. So if you don't like Spam or pineapple, change the channel. But what we're going to do with the pineapple is I'm going to slice the rings in half. I get pineapple rings, not chunks. And I'm going to slice these guys in half. And they will grill at the same time as the Spam. So 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. Do a few more. All right. And I'm just going to half them. All right. Okay, we're ready to cook. Let's do it.
We'll check these rings real quick, make sure they're everything they need to be.
Yep, those are rings. Okay. Mandatory tong test.
Did you click those twice?
3 times.
Okay.
They're extra prepared. Okay. Now, if you want, you can prep the Spam quite a bit earlier than this if you want to. If you want to marinate it longer, it doesn't need a long time. Just a few minutes, as you can see. But let's go put the Spam on. This will cook relatively fast on high heat, so just kind of watch it. You don't want them to get too scorched, but honestly, a little scorching is pretty good on these. Whoops. All right, I'm gonna do that much for right now. Now I'll put some pineapple on there. Pardon me.
I can smell it.
I mean, I'm telling you, if that doesn't look pretty to you, I don't even know what to say to you. Where do we put the cooking sheet? All right, now we're going to put the rolls, we're going to butterfly the rolls onto a cookie sheet. I'm going to throw them in the oven for just like 3 minutes. Make sure your broiler is on and hot. Okay. I'll do that much for right now. Throw these in the broiler. Let's let that go. All right. What you're looking for on your Spam is that nice dark caramel color right there. That's what you're looking for. See that right there? That's money. Sorry, Guy Fieri, I took your phrase.
Money.
There you go. See that? That's the color you're looking for right there. Caramelized Spam. Yes.
That's an album name or a band
That's
name?
a band. It's like a it's like a
Skull
a
band.
metal band, like we're opening up for Guar.
There you go. Caramelized spam with no onions
Cheaper than a hot dog with no mustard.
on the beat. See, I made it modern again. See, I brought it a whole new generation by saying mustard on the beat.
On the beat. All right. The pineapple. Ideally, if you can, you want to do the pineapple on like a flame grill, so you get those nice char marks. A couple variations I've tried on this is I've added teriyaki to the top of the pineapple. I've also added brown sugar, so the brown sugar will kind of caramelize. So play with it, have fun, play with your food. Don't care what your parents
How
say.
about tahini?
Never tried tahini. I don't know how that would work with this, but if that's your thing, if that's what you get down with, then go get some tahini. But you can see some of the. You can see him. How's that for some words?
I've been seeing.
I'm a good talkerizer.
I've been seeing.
Okay. So, but you can see some of the pineapple's getting some nice char on it. That's what you want too. Caramelization adds flavor and texture, so you want that. All right, looking good, yo. You got a couple of plates you can use to serve these on, or something.
Either like to your left.
Or maybe I'll just put them on the cutting board.
You can do that too.
You know, hey, we are not professionals,
Oh, that's perfect though. You got them.
but they're a little too burnt. But that's why I'm saying watch carefully, right? So these were I set it for 4 minutes, and that was too long. But what we're gonna do now, as you can imagine, if you ever made a sandwich before, little aioli, as much or as little as you want. Find a nice choice piece of spam here. Nice piece of pineapple. That is an Ono slider. All right, Jay, you get the first shot.
I'll take an aim. Not scared. All right, here we go. Ono slider, first one I've ever had. It looks good. There's no reason why it wouldn't be good. Here we go. Hot.
Right off the grill, man.
That pineapple's clutch. That toasted bread is perfect, and the aioli is just perfect amount. So I would try these. These are really good. Get yourself a can of Spam. It's not that much. It doesn't cost you that much. Make these sliders at the next football game, next event you have, the next birthday party. Break open the grill, grill your Spam.
I gotta give you one now. I gotta give you one. All right. That's a bottom. I gotta get a top. You can't go with two bottoms. You gotta have a top. That's a top. That's a top. So this is a good example of why experimentation can be a good thing. I just thought of these one day, gave it a shot. It's a family favorite now. So love it, man. Ono Sliders.
Who was the first one to try one besides yourself? Who was your first victim? Wifey or one of the kids?
I got 3 boys, and they're the ones who tried them, and they request them, so they love them.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. I gotta get these off the grill though. It's starting to. See, I need a plate or something. Alright. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that one. Look at that nice caramelization. Like, look at that. Right there. Boom. Boom.
That's what you're after,
That's
folks.
what you're after. And If the pineapple's kind of falling apart a little bit, that's ideal. That's what you want. You want it kind of disintegrating on you. That's how that accentuates the sugars in it, gives it a little bit more caramel flavoring. You want another one, Jay?
Toby's finishing up. He's gonna make himself one more slider. And you know what? There's a couple of things that, growing up about cooking, I learned how to flip an egg pretty early on. I've been cooking on a gas top stove since that's the first stove I learned to cook on, cast iron gas stove, right? Flipping eggs, making sure you know how to take care of a seasoned pan and all that fun stuff, man. And basically, over the years, I've learned to cook quite a bit. I've learned to cook a whole bunch of stuff. My mom, bless her heart, she taught me everything, that I needed to know in the kitchen. So I took it from there. Even in high school, I was going to be a chef after school, and I even made sure I got some college units for culinary arts, safety, sanitation, menu planning, all that neat stuff, and actually some gourmet food service. So, I've cooked for a living for a few different restaurants, and I love making food. I love preparing food. If there's an apocalypse, you want to be on my team, I will find and make food. I'm the food guy, right? So, yeah. Speaking of being the food guy, there's something that we've started recently that I want to bring up is that I had this hankering a couple months ago of like, I want to make bread. I want to knead the dough. I want to stretch and knead dough. And so, for Christmas, I got a bread maker, right? So, I got a bread maker. Put all the ingredients in the bread maker and, hit go. The next day or, a couple hours later, I have this nice warm loaf of bread. And the bread's hella good, right? It doesn't have high fructose corn syrup. It doesn't have all those preservatives and shit. You can eat a loaf of bread, right? Make sandwiches and stuff like that, right? Not that we're eating loaves and loaves of bread, but, it doesn't have those things in it. So that's a huge thing for us, right? So I love that part. We decided to make sourdough bread, and we started reading on that, and all the sourdough folks out there know you have to have a starter, and that starter you have to grow a starter out of.
It's a living thing. Yeah, it's a bacteria. It's
a fungus, right? So Greg was talking about this, and he's like, yeah, you just mix flour and water, and it just grows out of the air, out of your breath, out of your skin, out of your environment. It's your yeast, it's your culture, it's your this. And I'm like, okay, I didn't really wrap my head around that. But you know what? If you take a half a cup of flour and a quarter cup of water, and you mix that together, and you leave it in a jar, and then the next day, whatever happens, you take half of that away, and you add a half a cup of flour and a quarter cup of water every day for like 2 weeks, it's gonna grow fungus, it's gonna grow yeast, it's gonna ferment. It's going to smell like acetone for a minute, and then it's going to smell like sourdough bread. And so that's what we did. We had the starter. It took a little longer because our kitchen isn't 72 to 75 degrees, right? And especially in the dead of winter. Out here in California, dead of winter, it's a witch tit freezing 47.
Gotta put your thick shorts on.
It's 47 out here. You got to wear shorts and a hoodie. Oh, God. Can't stand this California cold out here.
It's terrible.
So we made the starter, and, I made a few trial runs off some of the discard. I'd feed it, and I started, reading more, watching videos. I watched this video, oh my God, I watched this video because the instructions say you have to stretch the dough. You have to fold and stretch the dough during, the process of making sourdough, right? So I'm like, okay. So fold and stretch. So I watched this video, the first one. I realized it's got like over 2 million views. It was a 30-second video of a bowl overhead, like this. And all they were doing was pulling and folding, pulling it and stretching it and folding it for 30 seconds. They were literally folding and stretching the dough. And at 2 million views, I'm like,
now they're making cash money off
oh my God! I had ads in the beginning. I had to watch.
Got that dough folding money.
Well, they walk around with that dough folding money because, oh my God! So, anywho. They say to cook it in a Dutch oven. I didn't have a Dutch oven. I didn't cook it in this pan. I just have it in this pan just for now because I don't have my little wire rack that I keep it on. So I got the starter. I had about a cup and a half of starter, and the recipe called for like 3.5 cups of flour, blah, blah, blah. I mix it all together. I put the water in there. I put the salt in there. And, you know, I let it rise for a little bit, and then I fold it, and I fold it. I do this for like 4 to 6 hours, just and while it's rising, and I'm folding it, and it's doing the whole fold and stretch. And then I shape it. I don't have a shaping bowl. There's like, it gets deep. Like, you can get this bowl, and it shapes all this stuff, and you can get really rustic with it, or it's like all cracked and baked on the outside with like flour powder and stuff, or cornmeal on the outside, but...
Cut little designs into it.
All that stuff, right? So I make my dough. I do the whole rise thing. I could put the dough in the fridge overnight and really get that fermentation smell, that ferment smell, but I didn't. And so I went ahead and with the rise, the fermentation process, and then baked it. And I baked it at like 475 for a little bit, and this is what came out. So this is the sourdough. This is the half. Well, obviously half because this is as far as we made it. But that's the crumb on it. So look at that crumb. It's got the big crumb at the top, so dense at the bottom. But it's like kind of, it's really soft. And I put a pan of water in there for the steam, I guess. You do want the steam for the whole thing. It makes a nice crispy crust on there and stuff. But fucking sourdough bread, man. Yeah, it's really good. Kind of neat. So I wondered, like, during this whole process, because when I first got the bread maker, I'm like, how did they make bread like back in the Little House on the Prairie days, like the wagon wheel days, like Cowboys and Indian days? Like, you have to go into the general store and buy this jar of fucking yeast? No, that's not how they did it. Well, how they fucking did it was like just like that. They floured water and let it sit in a jar over in the window and let it sit warm, and that would culture, and that would make that, and they'd use that to leaven their bread or whatever.
Science, science it.
It's free. You could just make yeast out of the air. Kind of neat. I didn't know that shit. So, anywho, GenX, are we adults yet? Yes, we're adults. We've been freaking adults since we've been, I don't know, 4th grade, 3rd grade. That's why Saturday morning cartoons are so special to us. That was our day off too. In fact, the whole world geared that first half of that day to us kids with Saturday morning cartoons and local programming and stuff like that. We were feeding ourselves. That's why cereal boxes are a thing. That's why milk is the thing. We've been eating our thing. That's why convenience foods are the way they are, because we were the first generation to really have the advantage or the benefits of convenience type foods, right? When we were young and before us, like cereal really wasn't the breakfast thing to go to, right? Moms were making hot food. We were having toast and jelly or eggs or leftover dinner or whatever if we had breakfast, right? Some folks were eating breakfast. So this whole food thing, we've been feeding ourselves for a long time. Most of us have. Bless your hearts if you can feed yourself in apocalypse. If you can't feed yourself, if you don't know how to cook, and if you're our age, I don't know, man. I have to tell you.
You gotta learn some basics.
You gotta learn how to cook, man.
Learn some basics.
More than a box. You gotta use this. You gotta use the oven stove thing, right? You gotta boil water, heat stove, pan, fry, oil.
Yeah. Learn that. One of the first things I learned as a kid, just on my own, I saw my mom doing some stuff on the stovetop. I took a piece of bread, put some butter on it, and I threw it in a pan. I just sat there for a sec, let it darken, flipped it over, and it just, I was like, man, that's good. Like fried bread. I learned that by messing around. So get in the kitchen and try stuff. If you have a dream of something, go for it. Like Ono Sliders, I just tried it, got in there and tried it. So that's how you learn. You might screw it up. That's okay. Try it. Try something different. That's part of what makes GenX different than some of the other generations since then, is we just got in and did stuff. And I talked about that in some of the shows I was on before, where I just had to do it. Nobody was coming. So I just had to do it. You want something to eat, you better get up and go make it.
Mom's not getting home till after 6.
Amazon's not.
I've been out of school since 3 o'clock. I'm fucking hungry.
That's right. Yeah, you don't have Walmart delivering groceries to my door. So
that is so sweet.
Yeah. So
I don't even have to go to the store anymore, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can get same day delivery now. It's pretty crazy.
The other day on the social medias, one of these memes came floating through, and it was the Chinese food in the cans. It wasn't the Chungking. It was the other version. I can't remember the name now. And I'm like, I forgot about this was Chinese food when we were a kid. It had like all the noodles and like it had like all the wet stuff up top, like the water chestnuts and like the bean sprouts in the small can up top, and then like the saucy stuff, I think, in like the noodles at the bottom. And then to me, That was cooking because you heat them both up. You put them both in the stove. You have to heat up one, then heat up the other. Now, no, I know how to do this. You have to know. I know how to. I can cook, right? But I saw a picture of that the other day, and it was the coolest thing to see. You know what I mean? It was like a throwback because I have always been like one who knew how to cook. Even since I was a little kid, among my friends, among my family, I've always spent a lot of time in the kitchen, right? So, being able to pride myself on that. But then looking back, it was like, heating shit up, right? We're older than microwaves. Don't forget that. If you're not our age, we're older than microwaves. We use the stove to like heat bottles up, and like, well, I did a lot of bottles heating up. You know, everything was cooked. Pot pies, 45 fucking minutes in the oven.
Yeah, that's right.
And then they were piping hot.
Do you remember your first microwave? Mine was like mine was just slightly smaller than a VW Beetle.
Yeah.
It was just took like 3 dudes to move it into the house.
I do.
It had that fake wood grain paneling on the outside because you want your microwave to look like it came from nature, right? So it's got wood paneling on it. You know. So but yeah, you're right. I mean, food was something that took a long time to cook. You get that pot pie that'd come out of the oven and it would be like molten magma.
700 degrees.
Yeah.
You can eat the crust for a little while. You can eat the middle, and then you find one edge, eat the doughy kind of. Anyways, those things were good. And then the Hungry Man TV dinners. Remember TV dinners and the TV dinner trays? That was the food-inspired furniture. Right? We had TV dinners, and then we had TV dinner trays
to eat it on, yeah.
So we had convenient food because not everybody wanted to, or this was moving from a time where every meal was home cooked, or the dinner meals were home cooked, right? And the dad would get home, the wife housemaker would have dinner ready. The kids would be home from school doing homework. Dad would check in, give the news, whatever, blah, blah, blah. As you moved away from the cooking or whatever, or as a treat, like when we were kids, we had TV dinners. You know, we got to go eat out and stuff. That little cherry pie in the corner of the Hungry Man, 700 fucking degrees. Good Lord, that thing was, and it was a little guy too, and it was always
3 bites.
It was always like really sticky. It was like really gooey and sticky, and it was like really hot, like stupid hot. I want to give a shout out to all you guys who hang out to the end of our videos and check us out each and every week. Our Monday crew, we love you guys. You know who you are, and I know we're picking up new followers every week. Well, last time I checked, I think it was earlier today, we are at 191 followers, and we love every single one of you guys, but we're trying to get to 200. Help us count down to 200. Tell a friend. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscription button. Just smash it. You don't cost you anything. You ain't gonna do shit with it. It just puts you on the list, and we look cooler. So, thank you guys for hanging out. My name is Jason.
Yeah, I'm Toby.
Thank you guys. Peace.
Peace. That's the outro.
Peace out, everybody. I'm eating your pineapples.
Dude, those little sliders are bomb, Toby.
You want another one?